Sagrika from BriPublish. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Evana John. So I've written this book called Pursuit of Life. I'm so glad for BriPublish giving me this platform.
Okay. Could you introduce your book to us? What is it about? How does it go?
Well, basically, I won't explain the entire book to read it for yourself, but the book is about a young girl finding herself in a very short summary of it.
For listeners who have not exactly read the book or might not have, the time, could you just, give a little glimpse of what exactly the book talks about?
Okay. So basically, I've been very fascinated by human relationships and interpersonal growth and how one's reality isn't often as it seems to be. So I was really like, since I'm an English major, basically I'm a graduate from St. Xavier's. So a lot of the books and novels that I've read have, in fact, have a hold of me over what I've written. So, yeah.
What are the central themes that you wanted to focus on while writing this book?
So, actually, a funny conversation that I had with my mom was I did not have a clear idea of what I wanted to write. So I asked her, since what should I write for this competition? Since I've been writing for so long, I've like written for my college magazine and for my school magazines as well, and I had participated in a competition for hashtag Kalakar. So I was like, and this competition was in between of my exams going on in college. So I was like completely stressed. And so I asked my mom while we were drinking tea, like, what should I write about? Do you have any ideas? And she was like, why don't you make a story over a happy ending? And I like, it would be great if you could make it about something coming true, because nowadays in the world we have too much negativity, and all of the bad stuff that's happening, you need something good to focus on. So I was like, yeah, that's a good idea, a good starting point. And so I remembered I had painted like one of my paintings for a exhibition. So I was like, okay, I'll merge these two together and create a story. And that was how the origin of the book came to be.
Sounds really interesting. About your writing, how did you realize that you want to actually publish an entire book, call it your own?
Okay, so I didn't like at first. I just went with the flow completely. The characters and I was just fleshing out as I wrote. So I don't have like a perfect schedule for writing. I just get into the mood of writing and then I just keep on writing. And it's tough for me to get up when I'm writing. So my family literally have to say, "It's time to eat. Come on, get up." So once I get into the zone, I really get into it. And while I was writing the book, there was some like I wanted to add some of my personal feelings about it, but I also didn't want to make it too dark. Again, at the end of the day, I wanted to make it a book that everyone feels good after reading. And I also wanted to keep it simple for everyone who's not like very literary. Like you don't have to have a literary knowledge to read my book. So I had to keep the readers in mind as well, but I also wanted it to be that I don't want to spoon feed the reader with too much information.
Yes, actually, it is very hard to decipher what exactly is relatable to the readers and what is
Yeah,
going to touch them exactly at that point and
exactly.
hit the exact point. So yeah,
Yeah,
that
true.
is a major issue that writers face. So what does your writing process look like? I mean, do you write the pointers first and then write the story, or you go with the flow? How does it go?
Well, sometimes I just go with the flow, but usually I keep like points I want to explore the story about. So I just don't go wayward with all of the points that I want to like. I just don't get caught up into everything and explaining every little detail. So the points really help me pin down what I want to make the story about. Like my focus is on the story instead of like background details that doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Also, there are so many details that we focus on that the
Yeah.
readers should touch, feel like this at
Yeah.
this moment or like that at
Yeah.
that. So it's very hard.
Yeah, as
What
an
would
author, you would always feel, sorry to interrupt,
no, no,
that
no, continue.
your reader should have a more understanding of the world that you're trying to create, but at the end of the day, you're also trying to make it more natural. Like it shouldn't be the reader is confused about what you're trying to say or is bombarded with too much information that it just goes over their heads. So it's like a very delicate balance to strike
Yeah,
them.
because it should also be thought provoking, but also like not so thought provoking that it makes the reader go in a dilemma.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, what would you say is the most enjoyable part of book writing, and what is the most hardest part of book writing for you?
The enjoyable part is definitely coming up with the ideas. The hardest part about book writing is definitely when you have so many ideas that you want to put on paper, you feel that either it's not going in a way you imagined it to be, or like you're getting too overwhelmed with all the points you want to do. So, definitely, as a writer starting out, I would suggest overall just keep a list of points that you want to follow through with your story, and then like try to write according to it so you know where to stop and where to like expand a little bit more. So
Yes,
yeah.
that's very insightful. So I actually wanted to ask this question that there is a lot of people who actually want to write, but they are suffering from writer's block or not enough
Yeah.
time or the not enough ideas for that matter. What advice would you give to people like that to motivate them?
Right. So usually I was also like stuck in a rut because I've been writing so much. I was like, what should I write this about? But my advice would be just relax yourself. You don't have to like think about anything else but you and the story, what you're trying to communicate. Your emotions are important when you write, because as an author, you will look back on what you're writing and you should feel proud of what you have written. Even if you feel it's like a failure, it is not, because you at the end of the day you've managed to complete something. You can take inspiration from the world around you, like be more observant when you're traveling, or like this random spouts of ideas coming. Oh, that conversation seemed interesting, what if I incorporate that into the story that I'm having? Or maybe like read some other books, because reading actually really does help you generate your own ideas. Yeah, so these are some of the tips I'd like to share.
Be very helpful. I'm sure it will be very helpful. What message do you want your readers to take from your book?
From my book, I feel like readers, I actually wrote this book to like for my readers and also for myself. So when I look back in the future and I read my own book, at least I can take this message that no matter what was going on at the time, I still managed to complete it. And I'm proud of myself for completing it. Also, I want my readers to have that self confidence, to know that they are truly worth what they're doing. And just because the world around you says, no, don't do it, doesn't mean you should give up. I want them to have that self confidence. So, yeah, it's all about breaking free from what the world thinks, just because you believe in what you're doing.
Very well said, because I think we live in a world where we are constantly suffering from doubts and we are conscious about ourselves, about the decisions we are taking. So I think it is also something we relate on because I think everybody is facing that in their personal lives. Okay, so my any plans on writing another book?
Definitely. I've been thinking on it. I was like, I wrote a book, so this should not be like a stopping point for me. So I am definitely planning to write another book. Again, the thought process I have to now compile together, and the process of writing another book is going to be arduous as well. So, yeah, but I'm not taking this as a stopping point. I'm taking this as a marker in which I have to improve myself further.
Yes, and also it is a good way of coming out of whatever you're feeling. Writing a
Yeah,
book and
yeah,
actually again
definitely.
making it relatable for yourself. It's a healing
Right.
process in general.
Definitely. I feel
Okay,
writing is underappreciated, in fact,
a
that
lot, a lot.
yeah, you actually get a
Mm.
lot of catharsis from writing from it. And people undermine the fact that, I don't know, it's probably could be because I'm an English graduate. So I love reading different stories and different perspectives around the world. Like so many stories, you have so many people talking about so many different things, and it all comes together beautifully. I feel like reading these books also gives you an insight into how the world works, and as well as what you can be more empathetic to others. So, reading and writing, in fact, gives you a safe space to communicate your feelings better. And you can actually look back on your what you've written, and you can say, "Oh, this is what I felt." and I feel better after writing this down. So it had a space to go to instead of your emotions being pent up inside you.
Yes, and this is also a little bit, I'm thing is ki I'm also an English graduate, okay? So I
Oh,
have
nice.
always felt that, okay, we read a lot of dramatic literature, like Greek literature, like European literature, but there's always some sentiments that are hidden which are still relatable in our day-to-day life. Like you can
Yeah,
actually relate that, even if it looks so
definitely.
dramatic and swords and everything. But actually, we are all feeling the same things. And, we are all
Yes,
going through a war. So that is
yes.
a parallel that we all figure out. My last question to you would be, how has book writing helped you in your, day-to-day life?
Well, book writing has definitely given me a place to express my emotions, and it also actually helps you to express your unconscious thoughts and live through your characters in a sense. It also helps you feel like when you are writing a character, really feel with that character. So, suppose your character is like going through something, and you want that character to feel some pain. You feel relieved that the character is going through that pain and is healing. So, in fact, you're learning from that character in a sense. Yeah. So it has actually helped me uh, have a more mature outlook on life, if I do say so. Yeah.
Wonderful. And this was such a great, insightful conversation that I had. And I actually learned a lot from you, Ivana.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for your
Me too.
time. Such a
Thank
great
you for having
podcast.
me. Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.